Thank everyone. I think we have a few more people that are just getting signed up as we're speaking. So if we give them maybe another 1 minute to get connected, we will start in about 30 seconds or 45 seconds. And if you'd be kind when you do log on, if you can mute your phone, and that way we can cut out any background noise, that'd be greatly appreciated. Okay, well, it looks like we may have a few additional people that are still looking to sign on, but why don't we get started. Again, good morning. My name is Dennis Nuutinen, and I'd like to actually start by thanking Joe Hunt of TxDOT for continuing to schedule these ITS Texas webinar series, enabling ITS Texas members and member agencies, for that matter, to learn more about new solutions and emerging technologies. Well, the topic of our discussion today involves integrated corridor management. I would really like to focus your attention to the critical importance of interoperability within your agency, as well as between all the stakeholders and responding agencies. Without truly fluid interoperability, effective information sharing, and seamless real-time collaboration across your organization and with partner agencies, integrated corridor management will fail. That may sound harsh, but it is true. One of the most successful military generals of all time, and the author of the book Art of War, Sun Tzu, said something over 2,500 years ago that still actually holds true today. He said that the most expensive information, again, the most expensive information is that which is out of date, as the decisions you make based on out-of-date information will cost you the most. He went on to say that 70% of the value of information is actually based on its timeliness. The other 30%, very critical 30%, is predicated on your ability to share the information across your organization and with your partners. Again, as I said, my name is Dennis Nuutinen, and I'm the Regional Sales Manager with Activu Corporation. I would ask you to allow me to indulge for a moment to share some of the experiences and expertise that Activu brings to this equation. Activu Corporation, we are a software and services company that provides enterprise-wide visualization and collaboration solutions for command and control environments. We do not do movie theaters, we do not do stadiums, we do not do digital advertising. All we do and have been doing for the past 30 years is command and control centers, enabling interoperability across functional groups, as well as inter and intra-agency information sharing and collaboration. And just as a piece of factoid is that we implement on average about 1 command and control center every week. The network-based Activu visualization and collaboration solutions are deployed extensively within the U.S. Department of Defense, the U.S. intelligence community, public safety, law enforcement, and counterterrorism command centers, which account for about 50% of our business. The other 50% consist of transit and transportation management centers, including traffic management centers, airports, rail, subway, and seaports, emergency operations centers, network operations centers, corporate security operations centers, and power and utility industry. I just grabbed a couple of examples of some of our TMC clients. We work extensively throughout the states, as well as in Canada and overseas. For example, Alabama, they started with one traffic management center that they deployed Activu, then they did a second one, a third one, a fourth one, and now they're going to have all 5 of them are going to be on Activu. And similar in a number of other states where they have started with one, and then the TMCs and the state DOTs appreciate the fact that they can gain so much interoperability not only amongst the DOT facilities, but also with the ulterior TMCs as well as other agencies that are within their ecosystem. We also do a lot of public safety. whether that is emergency operations centers as well as seaports and other types of 911 dispatch centers. We do a lot of work with the federal government. I just grabbed some sample clients, as well as the U.S. Department of Defense. We are deployed extensively throughout the U.S. Department of Defense as well. Just grab some examples of some energy. Actually, after 9/11, the Department of Homeland Security, which is one of our largest clients, actually introduced us to the 6 largest power and utility companies in the country, as these organizations are considered critical infrastructure to U.S. national security. Now 5 of the 6 largest utilities and a host of other power utilities in the country are Activu clients. As a matter of fact, many of those are in the Texas area, not only from a power utility perspective, but also in Texas, we probably have over a dozen Activu systems within the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, 4 in the U.S. Air Force, Cyber Command and supporting commands like Lackland Air Force Base, U.S. Army Fort Sam Houston. If anyone is from the Houston area, Centerpoint Energy in Houston, they have about a dozen control rooms with the Activu solution. In the San Antonio area, there's CPS Energy with both a primary and a backup site. Pedernales Electric Cooperative in Austin area. Another one in Austin is actually a network operations center with Home Depot, and many, many more. We also work with a lot of corporate clients for security, as well as network operations centers. You may be asking, why am I talking about operation centers that are not traffic management centers? For 2 reasons. Firstly, whether you are a TMC, EOC, or a 911 dispatch center, there is actually astonishing similarities amongst the facilities. Whether you're aggregating camera feeds, web-based or network-based applications, mapping applications, TV stations, or web pages, what you're trying to do is understand what is going on. Now, did I just describe a TMC, an EOC, a 911 dispatch center, or a military operations center? Actually, I just described all of the above. All of these facilities are established to optimize situational awareness, situational understanding, and situational management. And the second reason I'm talking about operation centers that are not traffic management centers is because many of these other agency operation centers are part of your ecosystem, part of that immediate or extended integrated corridor management community or initiative. Here are some of the most common problems we see in many operation centers today, i.e. their inability to dynamically aggregate the information, which is often shackled to cables in legacy AV systems, or unable to display the information where it is needed, when it is needed. So where is it needed and when it is needed, having that ability to display it is very, very important. Information may be located at different sites, may be residing on separate secure networks. They may have limited ability and tools to filter through the noise, i.e. just too much data to quickly get to the actionable information to optimize their situational awareness and to establish a solid situational understanding, thus creating a common operational picture to more effectively manage that situation or incident. These functional restrictions, impediments seriously limit their ability, operational flexibility, to adjust and adapt to rapidly changing and fluid situations, especially whether that is a man-made incident or a weather calamity. And we have not yet shared any of the information outside of the TMC and across your organization, that is facility or field personnel, nor have we shared or collaborated upon with other responding agencies. And if you recall, Sun Tzu said that the ability to share that information with other partners is so critical in order to have an effective response. Now let's bring the discussion back to integrated corridor management. I borrowed some of the following slides from actually the U.S. Department of Transportation, the Federal Highway Administration. I've actually highlighted in red the words and language denoting and requiring the capability for interoperability across your organization and between as well as amongst responding agencies. I mean, if you look and see that there is enormous opportunity in being able to create that integrated corridor management but because it is multimodal, you need to have the ability to share that information. So if you look at the joint management of a transportation corridor as a complete system, whether that is with the TMC, whether that is with rail, subway, it could be 911 dispatch, the ability to share that not only between the DOT but the arterials and have a complete system that is actually managing that transportation corridor requires the ability of the stakeholders and customers to all be on the same page at the same time. And without interoperability, that is very, very challenging. Again, a few more slides from the National Department of Transportation. Coordination and collaboration between the various agencies and jurisdictions. Some of the requirements, again, multi-agency and cross-network operational strategies has to be shared to manage the total capacity and the demand of the corridor as that varies and changes throughout the day or the days of the week. And sharing that and distribution of that information and system operations and control functions amongst those agencies is very, very important. And as everybody knows, there's different networks, security protocols, firewalls, and everything else, but being able to share that information seamlessly for more effective interoperability is absolutely critical for successful ICM operations. I grabbed a couple of contributing causes of congestion that most of you have probably seen, but again, 50% of the congestion is directly attributable to fluctuations in demand. Special events, there's a sporting event, there may be a weather calamity, accident, incidents, but again, whether it is a traffic incident, a work zone, bad weather, special events, it requires coordination amongst and between multiple agencies in order to make certain that not only that the traffic is moving smoothly, but also how quickly and effectively and safely can those incidents be resolved and get the traffic flowing again. The framework for integration. I think this kind of says it all. The information sharing and collaboration between all of these different agencies is absolutely critical. And it's interesting that here, some of the biggest changes that we're seeing in traffic management centers when it comes to interoperability and more effective visualization and collaboration is, as an example, 5 years ago, TMCs wanted to display as many camera feeds as possible on a large display wall. However, today, many of these same TMCs are asking for more automatic event-triggered display of camera feeds for better situational awareness and faster incident resolution. In other words, having the ability to filter through some of the noise and get to the actionable information quickly. As an example, FDOT, Florida DOT, wants integration with their incident management alerts so that they will pop up on the operator's desktops, on the display wall, or wherever it may be needed when it happens. Alabama DOT wants integration with their ATMS and Waze alerts. North Carolina DOT wants wrong-way driver alerts. Georgia DOT wants flash freeze alerts automatically to be brought up on the display wall and to the operators and to whoever may need to see it right there and then. They're asking for the ability to share that control room information across their entire enterprise, including field personnel on smartphones and iPads. They also want streaming video from smartphones or iPads used by their field personnel or from another agency to provide visibility to accidents or incidents, sometimes in areas where you may not have a fixed camera infrastructure. And by the way, this is the most cost-effective way to augment your fixed camera infrastructure by leveraging your cell phones. As an example, Iowa DOT is planning to use their issue cell phones on the DOT snowplow, on the snowplow by the drivers to stream real-time road conditions directly back to the traffic management center. Now, some TMCs are also looking to deploy drones with cameras for better incident management. Both FDOT and Caltrans are actually looking at deploying drones, and Activu already has a DJI drone SDK integrated with the Activu system. Last but not least, TMCs are asking for improved information sharing, real-time collaboration tools for better asset and resource coordination between all agencies responding to an incident, again, whether man-made event or a weather calamity. They're asking for true real-time interoperability across their entire ecosystem for more effective and successful integrated corridor management. This is what Activu calls intelligent visualization, and this is what we do. The ability to share that information across not only your own organization, but whether you are the TMC and you need to collaborate with the Emergency Operations Center, whether that is with the transit bus subway operations, arterial TMCs, maybe it's management personnel or 911 dispatch that are in a different location, whether they're in a roadside assistance, whether they're in a vehicle or at their desk, having that ability to share that information across all of those agencies is vitally important in order to make integrated corridor management successful. Basically what the Activu software does is we create a common operational picture anywhere it is needed and everywhere it is needed. It becomes highly interactive because now information can be shared with anyone who has authorization to see it, and you can dynamically aggregate that information from anywhere and display it anywhere that is needed with anyone who is authorized to see it. I just go through a couple of quick scenarios that hopefully will relate to scenarios that you see, if not every day, but you see these scenarios when incidents arise, again, whether man-made accidents or weather calamities. But scenario one here, you're viewing information from multiple sources on a single display wall. You're creating a common operational picture, so you have the different operators are putting content on a display wall so that everyone can see what is going on. Basically, wide area situational awareness. Now, this information may be shared with another location. The other location may be a conference room. It may be the EOC on the second floor. It may be 911 dispatch. But now the ability to share that information across your network with different locations. The distances no longer matter because we are using your biggest enabler, which is your network. Now, adding to that, the ability to whiteboard. Somebody said that this is the Joe Madden feature for the football fans in the audience. Being able to actually whiteboard who is going to do what, where, and when is very effective rather than saying, hey, let's create the landing zone for the medevac helicopter over here, let's reroute the traffic, but now actually being able to draw it out on a mapping application that everybody is seeing, not only in the control room, but also at the other agency as well as the personnel in the field. Very, very important to get everyone on the same page at the same time. And then also, when you're working with multiple agencies, multiple networks, this is a common operational environment for us where you need to maintain network segregation while still aggregating a common operational picture so that the people can be on the same page, even if that information is aggregated from multiple secure networks. Basically, if you look and see the defining the intelligent visualization before, and we still see these kinds of deployments in control rooms today where you have very proprietary systems, hardwired sources. It goes to predetermined displays. If you've ever had a situation where somebody says, hey, I want this information over on that display over here, well, you can't do that because it's not connected to that. And that is why more and more organizations saying, I need to be able to display anything anywhere. And I want to manage it myself, not by contractors. I want to have it integrated to all of my systems and shared across my entire enterprise, as well as other enterprises or agencies with whom I need to be able to collaborate. So why Activu? This is all we do. We do command and control centers. And what we do is we manage and allow you to share and change that common operational picture. I've been in the software business, and I'm going to age myself here, for 25 years. And the one thing I've learned is that if it's not easy to use, it does not get used. And I think that's one of the reasons we have been very successful in the fact that the ease of use has been in the forefront in all of our designs, so it's simple to operate whether you're using it every day or whether you're using it once every 3 months in an emergency operations center that is only activated when there's an incident or an emergency. As I said before, we do between 50 and 55 control rooms every single year. We average about 1 a week. Not that we have all the answers, but we've learned plenty along the way, and we like sharing ideas and best practices of how you can increase your operational efficiencies, as well as looking at your workflows, because oftentimes workflows and standard operating procedures are created based on the technology at the time. So revisiting some of those standard operating procedures and leveraging latest technologies can really raise the bar on your, not only on your functional capabilities, but also on your operational flexibility. We do not use any proprietary hardware. It is all COTS, commercial off-the-shelf hardware. It is open architecture, very open APIs, and we leverage your existing IP networks. On that note, I would like to thank everyone for participating today. We have, it looks like what I'm going to do is we have a few questions from the audience. I'm going to just look into those while I put my contact information here on the screen. Looks like we have 2 questions here from the audience. Question here is, how do you control who can see what information? Actually, that's a great question. The Activu software, through its user profiles, which you set up, we actually help you set up at the beginning, determines and controls who can see what, as well as it controls what they can do within the system. So it may be a read-only, not write privileges, so you can get extraordinarily granular as to who's allowed to see what, as well as what they can do with the sources and how it can get displayed. Second question here is, can the automatic event triggers be sent to multiple locations, and can they be user-defined? Okay, let me read this again. Can the automatic event triggers be sent to multiple locations, and can they be user-defined? Yes. Actually, the routing of the event triggers are user-defined, and they can be routed to multiple locations, including, I'm just looking at the question here again. Yes, you can automatically route it, and they're user-defined, and you can actually route them to multiple locations all at the same time. Looks like that is all the questions we have. If there are no additional questions, if you want to unmute your phone, if you have any other questions, just unmute the phone and you can ask a question. If not, I would really like to thank on behalf of Activu for your participation in this. If you have any questions, please feel free to give me a call or shoot me an email. Again, thank you very much for joining. Bye-bye.